Hey everyone, Ebony here. Welcome to my channel. So excited that you are watching this series on just understanding how to survive and thrive with your thyroid condition. And on this video, we are going to talk all about the physical. And that is, how do you move your body? How do you prepare yourself to just be active with your condition? So, really excited to share this with you, and let's get going. All right, guys, so today we're going to talk about how to move your body. Now, before we even get deep into this particular video, I want you to take a deep breath. Why? Because I know what you're thinking. Many of you are like, girl, I can't even get out of bed and you want me to talk about moving my body? What? Yeah, I know. That was me too. I used to say those things to people all the time. But in all seriousness, it really and truly does make a difference. I'm not saying that because I'm a personal trainer, but being able to say that I'm a personal trainer after laying in bed for hours, struggling with pain, trying to get my heart to stop beating incredibly fast, struggling with being overweight for what was considered okay for me, and just having a difficult time understanding why my body was not doing what I was used to it doing. And I was an athlete. I played basketball, I did tennis, lacrosse, I ran track, all the things, I did it. And one day, I'm in college and all of a sudden I'm looked at as a liability because we couldn't figure out what was going on with my heart. And that was by far one of the most challenging days of my life, because for me, movement was everything, and it still is everything. And it was devastating because you try so hard to separate yourself from your reality, particularly when you have a lot going on, if things are difficult at home, or if you're just trying to put yourself in a better mental state, like we talked about in the last video. So that was definitely a very trying time for me. And that was around 21 years of age for me. And I recall being crushed. And I was supposed to be captain the next year. I had qualified for all of the regional meets. Everything was in place. I had worked hard and I was ready to go. And I felt a part of my identity just was stripped away from me in that moment. And you may be feeling something similar, where you too used to be very active. You could dance, or you were active with your children or your family, or you were going hikes or biking or just do all the things until one day you kind of couldn't. And I want to remind you that you can get back to that. Yes, it does take time. However, when you ease into things, you would be surprised as to just how much you can do long term. And that's kind of what happened with me. I definitely took a long time to get back into being active, which honestly just packed on the pounds because, well, I was eating whatever I wanted to eat. I wasn't paying attention to my diet. I wasn't really focused on getting a lot of good quality sleep. So I didn't really have the fact that I was running all the time work in my favor anymore. So that was a lot to deal with. However, You don't have to jump into CrossFit right away. There are plenty of choices that you can choose from in order to get your body moving. My personal favorite, walking. I can walk for days. Well, not literally, but you get what I'm saying. It's a challenge to get out of bed, and then the next thing you know, you're like, I'm gonna go do CrossFit today. Don't play yourself. Don't do that. As your friend, I'm not gonna allow you to do that. However, starting things slow, walk. Even if you can't walk a full lap around a track, for example, a quarter mile is just fine in terms of walking down the street. I know the track is technically a quarter mile or 400 meters, so guys, don't jump on me for that. But walk half the track or walk on the treadmill. And if you have to set it at 1 or 2 in terms of the speed, do that. But you don't have to feel obligated or like you're trying to prove yourself to anyone. Baby step it. And once I started walking, then I was able to do things like yoga and learning how to actually breathe and slow my body down was one of the best gifts that I could have given to myself. And even once I started practicing and learning, whoa, my body was really tight. It was bad. It was real bad. And that was so embarrassing for me because we have all these misconceptions about, whether it's being an athlete or it's doing all of these things. And when you get into it and you realize, I have a lot of work to do. Doing so helped to prepare me for the next stage. And that was when I actually had the strength to start cycling, to start lifting weights, to start doing more high intensity interval training. And what I learned was that especially when you're really and truly starting out, if you go and try to do all those intense things, you're more likely to injure yourself because your body's not ready. You also end up quitting a lot sooner as well. So there's another thing. However, what I want to encourage you is to take your time. Again, I am all about writing things down and brain dumping to figure out what it is that I like to do. So I want you to do this exercise. I, again, want you to write things down. Why? Because there's something magical about putting pen to paper. And I want you to really and truly go back to a time where you felt alive, when you felt like you could do anything and you were invincible. What kinds of activities were you doing at the time that made you feel strong, that made you happy? For me, that was playing tennis, that was playing lacrosse and running and just being active. So I want you to write those things down. And once you've written those things down, then you can look at it and say, okay, well, how do I get there? How do I start the process of getting back in shape? And that is where the magic happens. So let's explore this a little bit more over the next couple of videos, because I think that when you actually start the process of doing that, it's so much fun. And I'm really excited that we got a chance to do that. So let me know in the comments, what did you decide on doing and where are you going to get started? I'd love to hear from you.